Romans 7:18-21 is a passage from the New Testament of the Bible, written by the Apostle Paul. Here is the passage, verse by verse, followed by an explanation. Verse 18, "For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing, for to will is present with me. But how to perform that which is good, I find not." This verse expresses Paul's understanding of the human condition. He acknowledges that despite his good intentions, there is an inherent struggle within himself, and by extension, all people to do what is right. The flesh here represents the human nature prone to sin. Verse 19, "Forth good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do." Paul continues to describe the internal conflict between wanting to do good and repeatedly falling into doing what he considers evil. This verse highlights the struggle between one's moral desires and their actions. Verse 20, "No, if I do that, I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me." In this verse, Paul introduces the concept of sin as an almost separate entity within him. He suggests that it is not his true self that does wrong, but the sin that resides within him. This idea reflects the Christian doctrine of the sinful nature of humanity. Verse 21, "I find then a law, that, when I would do good, evil is present with me." Paul concludes this section by acknowledging a sort of universal law. Despite his desire to do good, evil is always present and influential. This law is a metaphor for the constant presence and influence of sin in the life of believers. Expounding this passage from Romans 7 is a profound reflection on the human struggle with sin and the desire to live a righteous life. Paul, using himself as an example, illustrates the internal battle that believers face. Despite the desire to do good and live in accordance with God's will, there is a persistent challenge due to the sinful nature inherent in all humans. Paul's admission of his struggles serves to comfort and relate to believers who experience similar battles. It's a reminder that the journey of faith is often fraught with internal conflict, and that the struggle itself is a common human experience. Furthermore, these verses set the stage for the following chapters in Romans, where Paul delves into the concept of grace and the role of Jesus Christ in overcoming this struggle. It's a transition from the acknowledgement of human weakness to the need for divine intervention and salvation.